Chris, the man is a wanted insurgent.
Yes, he's a mercenary, but right now he's under the protection of the US government. He's no threat to the PSAA.
Unless someone pays me to be.
What did you just say?
Jake Muller is perhaps the most important new hero character to the events of the game Resident Evil 6. Not only is Jake the biological son of the infamous sunglasses-wearing baddie Albert Wesker, but through his father, he's also heir to a powerful blood type, which makes him a very sought-after man. Jake's lineage has not only put a target on his back for a cure to the new C virus that has been ravaging the world, but also makes him an important piece of the puzzle for the woman who created the C virus and would like to improve on her work.
Right now, we're racing against a global bioterrorist attack and we needed a vaccine yesterday. We need you, Jake. We need your blood.
The story of Jake Muller begins with the story of his mother. While we don't have very many details on the woman who would become the mother of Jake Muller or her relationship with his father, Albert Wesker, we do know that she was born in Edonia. And when she was in her early 20s, she immigrated to America. During her time in America, she presumably met Albert Wesker and became pregnant with his son. However, for unknown reasons, after Jake's birth, she returned home to Edonia, neglecting to tell Wesker about his new son. Jake and his mother's life in Edonia was very difficult, and from a young age, Jake had to support his mother, who had fallen chronically ill. This illness was treatable, however, the pair had barely enough money to scrape by as it was, so she was unable to get the proper medical attention that she required. Despite this, Jake's mother tried her best to provide for her family and to keep Jake safe. Jake loved his mother, but as time went on, he began to blame some of their hardships on his father. Jake couldn't understand why his mother was still so enamored with the man who, in his eyes, had abandoned them. It's likely that Jake's mother never told her son that Wesker didn't know about Jake's birth, although conflicting reports seem to leave it up in the air as to whether Wesker was aware of his existence or not. Regardless, the fact that his father wasn't there to help the family through the hardships that they were facing bore a great sense of resentment inside of Jake. As the years went on and his mother continued to degrade, Jake decided to get a job as a mercenary so that they would finally be able to afford the care that his mother needed. Unfortunately, shortly after signing up as a soldier of fortune, Jake's mother passed away. This death obviously rocked Jake's world. He felt utterly alone, the only person he had come to rely on now gone. And with this death, Jake's attitude to the world soured. He put all of his focus into obtaining money, even though he no longer had a pressing need for it, and continued his path as a mercenary.
Alright, first things first. I want 200,000 up front, another 200 when this is over. Going BOWs, those are extra. An additional grand each.
I'm not here to hire you.
Jake's time as a mercenary showed him how to handle himself in combat. Unfortunately, the dishonorable nature of his trade didn't help him with his loneliness or his lack of feeling towards the world at large. The first group of mercenaries that Jake signed up with taught him everything that he needed to know about armed and unarmed combat. And though his trainer was harsh and demanding, he treated young Jake almost like a son. This, in turn, made Jake view this trainer almost like a father figure, someone to look up to and even depend on now that his mother was gone. However, as can happen when your loyalty is to the dollar, this trainer turned out to be a double agent, who led all but two in the unit to their slaughter. This betrayal only further isolated a young Jake, and he completely detached from the world, drifting from war to war, joining whichever side paid him the most money. This attitude gained Jake a reputation as the perfect mercenary, a true soldier of fortune. And so Jake's life continued on its lonely and destructive path until Jake found himself in Edonia.
You know, between me and you, I think we should ask for more money. A lot more.
In 2012, Jake found himself returning to his homeland of Edonia, now joining the Edonian Liberation Army as a mercenary. However, unbeknownst to Jake, he was under the watchful eye of several interested third parties who had come to find out about his connection to Albert Wesker and the special blood that coursed through his veins. The first of these third parties was Derek Simmons' organization, The Family, who wanted to use these antibodies in order to improve their strains of the C virus. The second was the US government, who sought these antibodies for critical vaccine research. Jake, however, was busy with his mercenary work, and was given a sample of the C virus to inject himself with under the guise that it was a nutritional supplement. When this injection had no visible effect on him, it was confirmed that his blood was exactly what the third parties needed, and he became the focus of several groups, each with very different plans for what to do with him and his incredible blood.
No question. You've got the antibodies.
Thank you very much. Wait, what?
You could be the key to saving this world, Jake Muller.
Throughout the course of Jake's adventures, his life is drastically altered. Not only does he go from being a faceless soldier of fortune to one of the most highly sought-after men on the planet in the blink of an eye, but he also learns about his father and finds someone who manages to fill his cold heart with compassion once again. In Edonia, Jake meets a woman named Sherry Birkin, a US agent who tells Jake that his blood is vital to vaccine research into the C virus that is becoming quite an issue. Following in line with his nature, Jake tells her that she can have his blood for the low price of $50 million. Sherry agrees, and the two attempt to find a way to escape Edonia and return to Sherry's employers. This journey is hindered, however, by a new BOW named Ustanak, who has been tasked by its creator, Carla Radamez, to capture Wesker's son and bring him to her. A mission which Ustanak eventually manages to make good on and takes Jake Muller along with his new partner Sherry Birkin to China, where they will be experimented on in order to improve the capabilities of Carla's own C virus. But before taking Jake to where he'll be staying for the next 6 months, Carla gives the young man information about his father, telling Jake his father's name and that Wesker had died attempting to destroy the world.
So, you're Wesker Jr.
Wesker? You lost me.
Albert Wesker was a colossal imbecile. A fool who tried to destroy the world. He was also your father.
What?
Which makes...
This revelation haunts Jake for the next 6 months, and in captivity, he attempts to grapple with his identity and his place in the world. Eventually, however, the pair manage to catch a lucky break and escape the facility in which they're being held. Linking back up, Jake and Sherry escape their captors and get in contact with Sherry's supervisors, setting up a rendezvous for them to meet up. This meeting turns sour, however, as the man who has been overseeing Sherry's actions is none other than Derek C. Simmons, the man behind the Tall Oaks attack and the death of the President of the United States. Jake and Sherry manage to escape thanks to the help of Sherry's friend Leon S. Kennedy, but the duo find themselves captured yet again, this time at the hands of a large unit of Juavo. These Juavo take Jake and Sherry to an underwater Neo-Umbrella facility. Here, the pair manage to escape yet again, thanks to the help of Chris Redfield, whom they eventually meet up with, and whom Jake confronts as Chris reveals that it was him who killed Jake's father, Albert Wesker. Deciding to table the issue for the time being, Jake and Sherry attempt to escape the underwater facility, only to be stopped yet again by Ustanak. Finally managing to put an end to the relentless BOW, the duo escape, with Jake seeing the world in a completely different light now.
You saved me. got you.
This journey of Jake's is completely life-altering. Finding out about his father leads Jake to question his entire life, wondering if the road that he's on is one modeled after Wesker's own, and wondering if he's doomed to repeat these same failures as his father. Luckily for him, however, Jake finds comfort in his friend Sherry Birkin, a woman who knows a thing or two about the sins of the father, seeing as her father was one of the main reasons for the Raccoon City incident. With Sherry's help, Jake is able to move beyond his guilt and sorrow, and open up a new chapter in his life. And in the end, this broken young man, who has felt troubled and betrayed for the majority of his life, choosing money over the lives of others, takes the payment of an apple from a young boy who is in desperate need of help, showing that no matter what lineage you hail from, or what mistakes you've made on your journey, there will always be hope for you in the compassion that you show to others.
Are you going to keep your promise?
Fair is fair, kid.